Welcome back to Daybreak. Kelsie Metzgar is here now with your national news. Kelsie?
Thanks, Courtney. In national news this week, Jennifer Livingston, a Wisconsin television anchor and reporter at CBS affiliate WKBT-TV, received an email last week from a viewer criticizing her size. The viewer wrote, quote, "Obesity is one of the worst choices a person can make and one of the most dangerous habits to maintain. I leave you this note hoping that you'll reconsider your responsibility as a local public personality to present and promote a healthy lifestyle," end quote. Now, many personalities shrug off the criticism as part of their job, but Livingston boldly retorted to the comment in an on-air 4-minute segment. She lashed out at the viewer for contributing to a culture of criticism and urged victims of bullying not to allow bullies to define them. Here's a clip of her segment.
But first, the truth is, I am overweight. You could call me fat, and yes, even obese on a doctor's chart. But to the person who wrote me that letter, do you think I don't know that? That your cruel words are pointing out something that I don't see? You don't know me. You are not a friend of mine. You are not a part of my family, and you have admitted that you don't watch this show. So you know nothing about me but what you see on the outside. And I am much more than a number on a scale. And here is where I want all of us to learn something from this. If you didn't already know, October is National Anti-Bullying Month, and this is a problem that is growing every day in our schools and on the internet. It is a major issue in the lives of young people today, and as the mother of 3 young girls, it scares me to death.
Livingston's statements have helped to raise awareness for October's National Anti-Bullying Month. According to a new report released Tuesday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the number of teenagers who are drinking and driving has dropped by 54% in the past 2 decades. 10.3% of teens reported drinking and driving in 2011 compared to 22.3% in 1991. However, data shows that teens are responsible for more than 2.4 million incidents of drinking and driving a month, which indicates that more work needs to be done. You may want to do your research before booking those flights. 47 American airline planes were taken out of service because 3 of its flights had rows of passenger seats come loose. The airlines ruled out sabotage, saying it was either human or mechanical error. No one was injured during any of these flights. A majority of American airline planes are now back in service. That's it for your national news. Let's send it back over to Lindsey and Courtney.
Right now we have junior cinema major Kaleigh Fitzgerald in studio to talk about her upcoming film.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Bright and early this morning. Mm-hmm. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your movie and what it's all about?
Well, my movie, it's a psychological fantasy thriller, and it's called Reflection. It's about this girl who finds this magic mirror in the attic, and her reflection speaks to her and makes this deal with her to switch spots with her so she can see her mother again, is basically the way to put it. But it's all twisted up in this other world.
Now, how did you get this idea for that?
I actually wrote it when I was 16, because when I write scripts, I do it at Bob Evans, which is my part-time job. And I'll write it on like waitress paper and
napkins.
Yeah, find it later and be like, oh, okay. So I submitted it to the screenplay competition last year and I got selected.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
That's pretty cool.
So you originally wrote the movie, and now you're directing and producing it?
Yeah.
How did that happen, and how stressed out are you now because of it?
Well, I mean, to be honest, the stress has kind of gone away because I've numbed myself pretty much. But basically what happened, for viewers that don't know, my producer quit the class called P3 where we do our films, and they gave me the right to produce it. So now I'm producing and directing and being the original writer. So at first, like, trying to put it all together financially was hard, but now that I figured it all out, everything's fine.
What, were you mad? Were you upset when that first happened? Were you surprised that now you have to take over your brainchild? So now it's exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little frustrated at first, but just because I wish she told me earlier, because it was a week before filming that she quit. So if she quit like a couple weeks before, it would have been nicer, but because it was like literally a week before, it was kind of like, oh crap, what am I going to do now? So
did you have to go back and take everything that she had already done and kind of make it your own, or even figure out what she had already done?
She didn't do anything, actually. All she got were locations, and that's pretty much it.
So you were pretty much starting from scratch all
for the
over
whole
again.
entire week. I was just in my room trying to get stuff done.
Wow.
That's incredible. Good for you.
Thank
you.
Now you're producing a whole film.
Yeah, which is good.
Now, how are you doing the funding? Do you have like a fundraising thing?
We're given, what happens is that with P3, we're given $2,000 to make the movie.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and so it's like, there's 8 different films that are being made now, and we're each funded $2,000 through the school. So we get the reality check of what it's like to fund your own movie and learn how to use your finances.
Oh, wow.
So for all of us non-cinema majors, can you explain to us what P3 is? Like, how do you get into it? Is it a class you have to take? What is it all about?
I mean, P3, basically the P is for production, and you're learning how to work together in a group of 6 on how to make a film. And it starts out your second semester sophomore year, where you apply as if you're applying for a job, and you make a reel. Teachers look it all over. You have to like figure out like what's your niche, basically, what's your concentration, and from there you apply to have it. And then the faculty will make a decision and say, okay, based off of your reel and based off your resume, I feel that you can do this job for the following year. And so then you're also given a film in May, and all throughout the summer you have to coordinate with people to rewrite your script over and over again in the faculty until you get up to this point where we start filming. And we have 2 weekends to film, and we use our funding each week to try and get the things that we need for our set.
So this really isn't like just a semester class, is it? How long does this class run, if you can even consider it a class at this point?
Yeah, I would say we technically were recruited at the end of April, beginning of May, and it's going to end in December when we premiere them at the GRW.
Wow.
So
it's like a full-time year.
Yeah, that's almost a marriage to what you're doing.
Oh yeah, so if you don't like your story, basically,
you better find a way to love it.
Find a way.
So it's a good thing I like mine since I wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any difficulties with cast or crew feeling like they want their input, they want to argue with you about your idea?
I mean, sometimes, but it was kind of that thing where you have to let everybody be creative and put their own juices in, because collaboration is key in this type of thing. Because if you don't have collaboration, you don't have a good film.
So what are you doing now to promote your movie in the final seconds that we have here?
I mean, to promote my movie, it's just basically just trying to talk to people, figure out things. As right now, it's not really promoting. It's more of when we get to post, I'll be promoting it. So right now, we're just filming it. Next weekend, we film again.
That's great. Well, thank you for coming and telling us all about your movie, and we will be sure everybody from Daybreak goes and sees it when it premieres.
We can't wait.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
Coming up after the break, we have a look at weather, Decision 2012, and sports. And later, Tori Adams and Jillian Traynor are making 6-layer dip. Stick around. We'll be right back.